Hi everyone, welcome to the Tarot Circle. I'm Ali and it's the 10th of September in the US and Canada, and it's the 11th of September for me in Hong Kong. And yeah, 9/11. What's today going to bring, eh? As our name suggests, we are four tarot readers and we like to pull cards and discuss world issues to try and bring you the truth, because as you probably know, we can't really trust what's in the mainstream media anymore. And even alternative media is a little bit wonky sometimes as well. So, but we have the cards. We have the cards and we have our chit chat. So if you like our style, please like, share, subscribe. Please comment on this video. And we really appreciate your efforts and your help to grow our little channel. So thank you very much for that. And we've also got a Facebook page. We've got a Rumble channel as well. And I'll put all the details below. So first of all, we have some guests today, very exciting guests. But let's introduce our Tarot Circle members. So Lynn, I'm going to start with you today. How are you, my love?
I am fabulous, but enjoying the almost fall-like weather here. Air conditioning is off, windows are open. It's fabulous.
Not lovely. What apothecary type things have you made this week? Anything nice?
I started a few new tinctures. One is more like an elixir for colds. And I can't even remember off the top of my head right now because it's kind of like end of the season and I'm rocking and rolling with everything. So I'm like, I don't even know what I have. That's why I have an Excel spreadsheet, so I know everything I have.
So you know where everything is. That's fine. Very organized, very Virgo of you. Barb, how are you, my love? Looking gorgeous.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Orange, yeah, it comes off as orange, but it's actually really red. I just thought I'd put a little bit of accent or something. But yeah, just getting ready for the new season and the entertainment season here in Florida. It's really big, and just learning some new songs and getting some contracts together and getting ready for a wedding at the end of the month too. So people are still getting married.
Hurrah! Kaila, how are you, my love? What's going on with you?
I'm good, thank you. We are having some cooler weather here too in Canada. So enjoying that, but also missing some of the warmth because we've had a lot of rain. Had some family visits and trying to get back on my own personal work as soon as possible. So that's what's going on. What about you, Ali?
Nice. What have I done? I'm finishing up my herbal medicine studies. So I'm working on case studies. I'm working on making tinctures and things. It's still pretty hot here. Heat hasn't dissipated yet. Probably won't for about another month. And we've had a bit of rain as well. So, but it's all good. It's all good. Right, I'm going to let in our little, I'm not sure they want to be called little, our lovely,
beautiful
our beautiful guests. Let's let those babies in. They're just connecting up. So we have the Venustwins with us today, which is very exciting.
So exciting, yeah.
Yeah, so they're connecting from Australia.
They're in Australia. Yep. So they're a couple of hours ahead of me.
Okay.
So it's definitely the 11th of September for them now, which is great.
Yes. Hello, ladies.
Hello. How are you?
Claire. Good morning.
Hello, Claire. Good morning.
Just whipped off to the toilet, so sorry.
Just bring her back.
That's so
Hi, Claire. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Barbara. Hi, Kaila, and hi, Lynn.
Yeah,
hello.
For having us today.
Oh, it's our pleasure. We are super excited to chat with you, lovely ladies. How is Australia today? You're in Melbourne, right?
Yeah. We've just sort of hit spring here.
Yeah.
So
is it warmer?
Flip just a couple of degrees. What Melbourne's not exactly the warmest place on earth, but it is in summer. So we're still police. Meet Georgie, everyone. Hi, ladies.
Hello,
Georgie. Hello,
Hi,
Georgie. Hello. So we've got Lynn, we've got Barb, and we've got Kaila here. So we've all got names on there. So yeah.
From different countries, is that right?
Yeah. So Kaila's in Canada, and Barb's in Florida, and Lynn's in Virginia. So it's still Tuesday for these guys.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for coming to taking
thank
time
you,
out of your
ladies.
schedule.
Oh,
We really appreciate this.
doing things like this. I might just put on a wee little tiny bit of lippy because I'm looking a bit.
Oh, you look fine. You're always looking beautiful in your videos when people are interviewing you and you're giving all
Yes,
that
both of
serious,
you.
serious information, and you're looking so beautiful at the same time.
Oh, thanks.
It's
And that's what it's all about, isn't it?
exhausting actually being a woman and doing so many videos.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I know it takes so long, doesn't it? Men just don't understand this.
Yeah, we can't.
Oh, and then you got Gene Decode, who never even puts his face up. He does it
Yeah.
the easy way. He can be in his pajamas for all you girls know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we should
He
have.
he doesn't wear
just
lipstick.
done that from the start.
That would be a
I
good.
know.
Oh, I have so many questions for you all, but I'll let Ally talk, and because we all have questions and stuff.
Oh
and-
yes. Oh yes.
Gotta do our clearing.
So first of all, we're going to bring what we always do at the beginning of every show that we do is we do some energy clearing. But first of all, I'm going to introduce you guys so everybody knows who you are, because some people might not know who you are. I mean, how can they not know who you are, for goodness sake? I mean,
there's a lot of people
what's going on.
Yeah, we haven't like got a hugest presence, but it's growing. It's great.
Yeah. So you guys are Claire Woodley, hands up,
Me.
and Georgie Beaumont. Hello. And you're from Melbourne in Australia, of course. And now you met in April 2021, and you experienced a series of synchronistic events that led you guys to their mission of working with humanity during the Great Awakening on Earth, helping to heal. Now, we're going to have to be a bit careful with our words because it's YouTube, and we've had one video taken down because we're talking about the vitamin on the shoulder. Which...
that thing, right? Yes, we know what you mean. Yeah.
And so these lovely ladies have been helping to heal injuries from that vitamin and other ailments. Now, they both began connecting with their spirit guides, the Nine and the Andromedan Council of Nine, and received the same information that they are pure channelers, healers, and most interestingly, identical twin sisters from the planet Venus. I can see that. And you volunteered to come here in service to humanity and in service to the one true living God. Yeah. And yeah, so in service to the one true living God of all creation, his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. So just small, job. Not anything huge, right? Okay. And the Venus twins, the Venus twins, they work together as intuitive quantum healers, and they named their business Wisdom Woven in Time Healing. And this name was gifted to them by the spirit guides, together with the message that they had been working together in most of their lifetimes as healers. They have a website, and I'll put all the info together under this show. It's called wisdomhealing.com.au. They established a YouTube channel in 2022. It's got over 5,000 subscribers. They've got presence across many social media platforms. And they were also gifted a beautiful course that was directly channeled from the Andromedan Council of Nine and the Nine, and it's called Return to Sovereignty and God, the course. And its purpose is to train healers throughout the world to remove the harmful components of the and we have it there, and through self-love embodiment, reconnecting them to God and their own personal sovereignty. And all those who undertake this 10-module online course experience a Christ consciousness healing activation themselves that is life-changing. And to those who receive it, it is an incredible, powerful experience for both the healer and the recipient of the healing. And the person having the healing must sign a consent form before going ahead with the healing, which is the first step and a powerful one in taking back their personal sovereignty. So here are some other quick facts about them. They are intuitive psychic energy healers, pure channelers, and psychic mediums. They are both in telepathic contact with the Andromedan Council of Nine and their guides, the Nine. They have been bestowed a beautiful gift of healing by God to help humanity. They are able to telepathically connect with God, Christ, the Council of Andromeda, their spirit guides, and their client spirit guides and guardian angels. So many questions about that. They are able to connect with the elementals and spirits who have transitioned to the heavenly realms. The Venus twins work with clients in the now moment to find the priority for their healing and are usually gifted angelic intentions to work with the quantum field of limitless possibilities for the highest interest of the client and all life everywhere. And the mission of the Venus twins is to work with humanity during and post the Great Awakening on Earth to heal the and other health ailments. And you've been on shows with, I think the first time I saw you guys was on the Mark Atwood show, but you've been on with Gene Decode.
Sorry, dogs are going crazy.
Sorry. That's all right. I can't even hear them. But yeah, you've been on with Michael Jaco. You've been on with a bunch of different people.
I better let her out. Hold on. Sorry.
Okay.
I have 10 dogs and Ally has 3?
4. Yeah.
4. So
yeah,
we're used
I've got
cute.
Sorry about that, everybody.
That's all right.
2 here now.
Professionals all the way. Yeah.
Control what the animals are going to do.
That's what makes us human. This is what I love about doing stuff like this rather than doing like telly, which is so like scripted and plastic, isn't it? But just on the back of that just on the back of that video, is there anything you'd like to add?
Well, thank you. Sorry if the internet, it seems a little unstable. It's very in and out for us here.
Yeah,
so we
I
hope
think
that
it's our connection too. When we got up this morning, it was a bit unstable. So I can swap it over. Would you like me to do that before we continue? I've got two different routers I can use. Do you want
try? Because it's a little bit delayed, isn't it? A little bit jiggly.
It's just
probably a good idea.
It's in and out. Are you noticing we're in
speaking in center?
Yeah. There's just a bit of
So if I swap it over, it might cut us off.
Yeah.
And we'll get back in.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. So what questions do you ladies have on the back of that intro? Because that's pretty huge, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, I watched a few of their videos like 6 months ago. Yeah. Are you back?
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, we're back. We're in. Yeah.
That looks stronger, so hopefully it'll be better.
Yeah.
I would.
Thanks.
Ali was just asking us about the questions, but I guess we'll get started with the clearing, and then we'll jump on you with all the questions.
Help the internet.
Yeah. Exactly. So Kaila and Lynn always do a lovely prayer and healing for all of us. So please join us. Kaila, over to you.
We will. Lovely. And thank you for that lovely introduction.
Oh, you're welcome.
Very long.
Got my crystal here.
That's very phallic. It's a bit like Lynn. She's got a very phallic one as well, haven't you, Lynn?
My crystal.
I like the sage. Yes. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice.
You got your fan, Barbara? You got your feathers?
Do. Look, the feather that Lynn gave me to fan my sage. So I'll do that while you're doing the clearing, as I always do. But now I have the feather.
Okay, Kaila, take it away, girl.
Very nice. Hello, everyone, and a special welcome to our lovely guests today. So very happy to have all of you here, and thank you so much to anyone watching this show. For today's meditation, I was guided to remind all of us of just how much godly universal love is available to us at any given moment in time. And if only you would open your hearts and minds to see us. Let's sit together and take a moment to feel into our heart space. And while letting go of fear, doubt, and any shame or guilt that's blocking the way, let's ask for help in clearing and lifting the energy of the heart space. As we ground ourselves into the loving energy of Mother Earth and connect our vibration upwards to godly source energy, let's all visualize that white, divine light clearing away any negativity and replacing it with the highest vibration of godly love. You may also wish to visualize the color green, filling that heart space and flowing through your entire body. You are loved, you are protected, and you are now vibrating at the highest frequency of light. Only energy of the highest good is welcome here, and everything else must leave now. Over to you, Lynn.
Back to you, ladies.
Thank you, Lynn. Super. Thank you very much.
It was lovely. I feel better.
Yes, ladies. It's such a nice way to start, isn't it? So obviously we are here to pull cards for you guys. So we can pull cards for you for anything personal, for anything you want kind of a little bit more insight into, on anything kind of global events. But is there anything more that you want to kind of add on the back of, you know, that bio that I just basically read there? Is there anything specific that you're kind of working on now that's like really kind of interesting, really exciting to you that wasn't kind of covered there? Because obviously there's a lot in there.
Well, yeah, we really love working together. We're guided to work together as a duo, because most of our sessions that we do are in solo, as in via Zoom or in person. If people can see us here in Australia, in Melbourne. But yeah, we've been working together a lot lately, and we with people with significant life trauma, whether it be in the body with chronic disease, and actually, sadly, too, people who've had been abused sexually as children.
Which I'm sure there's a lot of, right?
Yeah,
unfortunately.
there is. It's surprising, actually. But we've been blessed to, be given some beautiful, loving messages from their angels and our guides, and it really has been healing for them. And yeah, so that's kind of what we've been doing together in our business practice.
That's been something new
Very,
this year.
yeah, very new, and also getting out and having other people interview us for a change, which is really lovely. So we're just thrilled to be asked today.
Yeah,
in this group. Yeah,
and we've watched some of your videos, and you always have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You never know where it's going to go, and we're like that too.
We never know.
Yeah.
We have kind of like an outline, but we're totally off script, you know.
Yeah,
so.
it's good. It's great to be organic like that and just let things unfold. And that's how we have just been forced to be, haven't we, from day one, pretty much, Claire. Sometimes we channel something and read it out, but it's only just a small portion of what we do in our interviews. And yeah, it's been flying by the seat of our pants, a lot of it.
Yes.
And it ends up working out best that way anyway, and being the most authentic that way too. And so I have to confess that I'm not even up with current affairs very much at the moment for this video. And
it just keeps moving.
Yeah.
But it's moving.
We're not either.
So quickly. I mean, how can you... And I think the thing at the moment is you don't know what's actually real, because well, for sure we've never been able to really trust the mainstream, but there's so much disinformation coming out of the alternative media at the moment as well. So this is where our cards kind of come in, and we can ask, is that actually real, or is someone just making this stuff up? So yeah, I mean, and often when we do our shows, you know, just as Barb says, we have an outline, but sometimes that changes on the morning or the evening for these chaps.
It changes all the time on the morning.
Yeah, it was like, oh, let's just swap it out. You know, it's just, it's nuts at the moment. It's just absolutely insane.
Yeah, well, we've been really busy doing healings, and a lot of people don't really realize that. I think they feel like, well, how come the Venus twins haven't put out many videos lately? And this is just a sideline thing for us that we didn't even expect to happen to us. And we focus a lot on working with people and doing healing sessions and doing them together. One thing I wanted to add to what Claire said about us doing them together now is that one of the main purposes of that is to power it up, and the power of 3 is really amazing. So it's not just the 2 of us, but also the person we're working with. The power of the 3 of us together makes it very, very.
Are you doing the healings in person, or are you doing them remotely as well?
Both.
That was one of my questions.
Because I think when you first started, it was mostly in person, wasn't it? If I recall correct.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. We were guided to do that, and it was almost a 3-year period where we had to practice in person. And when we first met, we actually did our Reiki training together, and we were doing psychic development. It all went very, very, very quickly.
And then we've since been told too by our guides that we chose to have all the information come in very fast. Yeah. And like, really? Why did we do that?
Yeah, it's really incredible. And like when we they even gave us a mission statement, which is on our website, that we were going to help train people to heal themselves from all disease and around the world. And we're like, we put that on our website, but we had no idea what they were talking about at the time, about the training bit. And then after about a year, we thought, let's ask them what they mean about that, because we sort of wanted to know more.
It just hit us because we read it again. We were doing some updates to our website, and we read it again and went, that's actually happening.
Yeah. Well, it was sort of just before the course was channeled, because we just said, they said one day, we'd like you to channel, we'd like you to write a course with us. And we're like, all right, and what's it about? And they said, you know, we want you to help train people. And then obviously that mission statement was fully understood, to help remove, with God, because he's solely responsible for it, by the way, to remove the harmful components of the pointy thing and in the arm. And so they just started with module 1. It was very but it took us around about a year to do the 10 module course, because channeling, as you ladies may know, is extremely tiring. So when you do it, even in a session, in a healing session with someone, it you know, blows your mind how tiring an hour of it can be. So anyway, they channeled it all through us, even gave us the name of the course and everything is channeled.
And I remember the moment, which was very early on, that I was talking to the guides and they gave me the name of the business that they wanted Claire and I to begin, and they said, we want you to set up a website and we want you to let go of what you're doing now, because I was just in a business career at that time, and Claire was previously a nurse, and she had let go of that, sort of been pushed to through all the mandates that happened. I was still working in my old career at this time, and this was just like a hobby on the side, doing all the spiritual stuff. And then, you know, it was like, come on, it's time to let go and move into this fully, step into this fully. So had to let go of what I was doing, get myself replaced and move out of that and take that leap of faith. And they gave us the name Wisdom Woven in Time Healing. And I said, okay, that's pretty long. Why that? And they said, because you have worked with us in all your lifetimes as healers. I thought, wow. Okay.
Lucky we only lived a street away from each other. Would have been hard to do it.
Oh, that's great.
It's just all one street, like literally walking distance.
Did you know each other before that?
No.
We met in 2021 when I was delving deep into who am I what's my purpose here, reading Dolores Cannon, locked up here in Melbourne during all the COVID lockdowns. And I was searching for someone to give me a past life regression. And I wanted a Dolores Cannon one. And I couldn't find anyone. Mysteriously could not find anyone. And then we were on the same group, on a Facebook group, where we were following a truther at the time and being awake to everything going on. And we'd both woken up about the same time too, to what was really happening in the world. And then this message popped up one morning when I opened up Facebook, and it was Claire saying, I'm doing my training in QHHT and I need to do 25 free sessions and I'm offering them in this area in Melbourne. Anyone interested? Are you kidding me? So I wrote back, and then she wrote back. And then when it came time to say, okay, this is where I am for your appointment, she's down the road.
So great. Did you go to in that lifetime?
I think I went
it's all
to
happening
Egypt.
now, as you probably know.
Egypt.
Oh, yes, went to Egypt, but we ended up having a few together, and we do it now sometimes and put it on YouTube. Georgie's a fantastic subject, by the way. She goes into the somnambulistic state, so she becomes the person. It's awesome.
Oh wow, that is remarkable. That is remarkable. You know, when I first saw you all, I thought you were really twins. I says, "Look at these twins."
Yes.
Yeah.
You do have a resemblance, yes.
I said, well, how do they do that? How do they do that? Both of them like the same thing. And actually, you are twins, though. I mean, you are.
We're different ages, and like I'm, what, 4 years older than you?
3 or 4.
It's not a lot, though, is it?
It's not much.
We've had quite different lives and been through all different things, and then got to this point. But we both had one thing in common, which was following a spiritual path throughout our life, and always having that interest and knowing there was something about us that was different.
And isn't it something that had happened in 2021 when all of this was going on? A lot of people kind of got shaken at that point and started looking around and saying, yeah, just like you said, Georgie, who am I? What am I? What's really going on in this? By the time the COVID thing came around, I mean, I kind of had that moment back in 2007. I was living in Italy and I moved back to the United States. I used to sing over there. I used to model over there. And I know that Claire's a singer too, right?
Yeah. I have been a professional vocalist my whole life.
Oh my goodness, we've got such a song.
Right, get the mic,
girl. And Georgie's a dancer too, right? Besides the business part and the nurse part, you're also artists. I feel like we have that in common.
That's lovely.
So, oh, okay. Well, we'll sing something. Summertime and the living is easy.
I love it.
So by the time you all got together in 2021, because I kind of started that thing kind of in 2007 and 2008, 2009. I really started looking around and watching videos. And YouTube wasn't really big back then. It had a few of those videos, those wake up videos and truth videos. So by the time all this got rolling around, you know, I wasn't taking any medication. I was telling everybody, hey, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, take those vitamins. I was like really yelling at people, and people were like, come on, don't, you know. So by the time all of this rolled around, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the moment that they were talking about, you know. So that was the moment when you all got together too. It's just amazing how everything happens. Are you all familiar with tarot?
Yeah, yes, we've both studied tarot. I didn't sort of fully complete my course because I did it during that 2021 time with a woman over in Ireland. Fabulous teacher. She was doing a lot of videos on the awakening, and
I did mine back in the 80s, I think, and it wasn't but I was into it then and really interested. It was probably one of the first things I actually studied in metaphysical stuff.
Love it.
And so I can't say I learned a lot from that course, but then I sort of self-taught and kept playing with tarot cards myself a lot, just in my private time.
We both have the Rider Waite.
Yeah.
Rider Waite, yeah, that's what we use. At the time, did you get any pushback from your friends or family because you were interested?
That's why I did it myself. No. You know, I did it a lot quietly just for myself, readings. Just practicing asking questions and
And looking deeply into the actual card itself and how that pertains to the message that was coming in. I felt it did help open my third eye by sort of using your intuition as well as the messages coming in, to looking at the specific card and the detail in the Rider-Waite. Is that what you call them? Rider-Waite.
Yeah, it's Rider-Waite. Yeah,
Rider-Waite.
Yeah, Rider-Waite.
Yeah.
And sometimes they tag the Smith on because she's the
artist.
Artist, yeah.
Oh yeah, beautiful artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a question about your channeling. So I presume that you didn't channel before 2021. Is that right?
Well, we weren't aware.
Okay.
I thought I was for a very long time. I used to just speak to people and channeling would come out. And I didn't really realize that's what was going on. But sometimes, and it was when I was really very much in my heart space, wanting to help somebody genuinely. And I used to find people were very drawn to me a lot, even at school, to tell me all their problems or whatever it was. And sometimes there were people in my life who were going through very difficult journeys, and I would just feel very empathic towards them and want to help them. And I'd suddenly just say, like, get a message and say it to them. This is what I feel like you're experiencing. And they'd be like, how do you always know exactly what I need to hear? Or sometimes I'd say something and be there for them in a moment where they were really struggling, and the words would just flow out. And then I'd sit there and have this rush of emotion and love flowing through me and think, what was that? So I think it was happening, but I didn't realize it was happening.
Mm.
But as far as channeling the Andromedan Council and people's guides and angels, etc., no.
That started in 2021 after we met. And we just decided to pick up a pendulum one day and learn how to do it. And then it started very slowly.
Oh, nice one, Lynn.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And then it just all of a sudden turned to telepathy. So suddenly when we were doing it, I remember myself, I just said, hang on, I got that message before you spelt that out. And they said, yes, we're teaching you telepathy. It's coming through. So pretty cool. Learning to just let go and let that flow through has been.
Can you two telepathically speak to each other?
Oh, that's a really good question. We've never actually tried that.
We have sometimes. We've finished each other's sentences sometimes.
Like twins.
Yeah, we do in interviews. We often do that, but as far as in telepathic communication, we sort of prefer the iPhones.
So the Venus
it up,
twins,
you can.
But we do also sit together and work together a couple of days a week. So that's another thing we add into our schedule, which is we eventually had to block out 2 days a week to do the work that we need to do, like channeling the course, whatever project we're working on. And we would sit together at a table, and combining our energies, we always notice how powerful that is. So
most definitely.
Come together, we notice how much easier things are and they flow. And one might be channeling and the other one will be getting the message as well.
Yeah.
And like Claire might be channeling and she'll go, what's the sorry, and I'll say the word. She'll be like, oh, yep, that was it.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. So in a way, yes, we do that. Yeah.
So the name Venustwins, did you channel that from the Andromedan, or did you came up with that? Okay, came up with that. Because I wanted to ask you, and I'm going to let everybody else talk. I just want to ask this really, really quick. The memories of Venus. There's because I watched your video with Michael Jaco and Lisa Schermerhorn, and you mentioned a ship called Enterprise.
Yes. Oh yes, you can put cards on that if you want.
Ooh, yeah.
We'd like to know about the Enterprise.
That was the first
It
ship.
sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was the first. Well, it's from Star Trek.
Yeah. And that's not the first time that we've heard of souls being up there in a pod. Because you mentioned something, if I understood correctly, that our souls are on this ship up in a pod, and you know we're down here. I don't know if we read on that before. Maybe we read on that before because we did. I had heard it from another,
like Fleur.
Fleur Brown.
Yeah, do you remember? I think it was our first video, and we were asking questions because she was talking about something very similar, very Matrix-like, and
Yeah.
and I can't remember what exactly we asked or what Fleur said, but yeah, it was something along those lines. So yeah, we can certainly pull cards on that. What specific question do you have regarding that, guys?
Wow. Thank you. I'd like to know, are our original souls at this point, high selves, shall we say, in the pods, and we're protected by the who do they tell us we're protected by? These pods are highly protected, obviously, and they're on well, let's make it, simplify it. Our and even maybe some of you ladies on board a ship or on board the Enterprise ship in Earth's atmosphere now, or are we not in Earth's atmosphere?
Our souls.
Yeah. Are we avatars here on this planet?
And who would you like to pull? You can choose.
What do you mean? Call
which one of the ladies?
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be Ally. It could be Ally too.
That.
It could be Ally too. Ally puts people on the spot. Choose which one. But it could also be Ally too.
Who feels who feels that they would like to do that the most?
Well, I brought it up, so I think if maybe Kaila or Lynn or Ally wanted, since I brought it up, but as they choose who's going to do it.
Okay. No.
Did you want to know when you mentioned that in the video? Were you mentioning that you, as in Claire and Georgie, is on there, or as humanities up on the in pods?
No. We believe there's many different ships up there, and but we're connected very closely to this particular one, so that might be a good question. And
kind of like the star seeds on their different missions, right? That we might all be on different ships up
Correct.
there.
Yeah. We've connected with many different ships during our journey here, Arcturian ships. And Pleiadian motherships as well. So, but
I have one that's at my house quite frequently, and it reminds me of like the Death Star. It's the only way I can explain it is it reminds me of the Death Star from Star Wars. So it's not like a ship, but it's really big, and obviously other ships are coming in and out. But
like a docking station.
Where it just like totally sparkles and shines at me when I'm out there, and I feel
lovely.
Like it's home. Yeah.
Oh, that's
it's still up there, Lynn. It's still up there.
I think it's either out of my shot or it's a little bit further up. I noticed a couple times. It's kind of hard to tell right now because I think I'm seeing Venus and Saturn, Venus and Jupiter and Mars right now too. So they're all a little bright right now, but they're not shining like it normally does. So it might have moved, or it might not be quite the right time of the year for me to be seeing it yet, because certain times of the year it's easier to see it. So
it's kind of like a ship depot. It's like a depot.
Well, it's kind of, I think it's stationary, which means that's why like I can only see certain planets right now. I'm waiting for the shift of the season where I'll probably see it more, because it tends to be more in the direction. I'm in Central Virginia, so I'm south of DC, but it's almost as if this docking station or whatever is like watching
We've heard
DC.
Jane Decode talk a bit about these docking station ships, and they're very very common.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we sorry,
go ahead, Ally.
I was just about to say, we have a really technical way of showing our cards.
I was going to say that.
We take a picture and then we screen share. Which
because we're kind of like a small channel, so we're growing, but right now this is the way that we kind of do it. It's a little old school, but
it's cool.
Gets the job done.
I don't know if Ally told you how we all met. Similarly to you guys, just when all of these things started happening, we all started digging for the truth, and then we met doing this tarot course together. And we all believe in this healing energy in different ways. So, there's Lynn is into Reiki and sound clearing and all these different things. I'm doing like energy healing also. So you guys are super interesting for me in what you do. And I know Barb and Ali are both into like health and naturopathic medicine and so on. So it's so nice to have you all on. And from these cards, I'm going to say yes. In the past, we have the High Priestess. So you guys are highly intuitive. That High Priestess energy is there. And that's where you came from. It speaks truth to everything that you guys have said before. Card number 1, the Emperor, and the Chariot is there. So in terms of...
I mean, how many major arcanas?
I was thinking the same thing. Yes. This is major because we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 major arcana in this spread. So
that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal for the Venustwins. That's a big deal right there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, really? That's so cool. Look at it.
For sure.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
don't know if you guys remember from your own learning of tarot, like what these cards mean, but this part might be a little bit different. So yeah, the Chariot card is there that represents that ship and, you know, moving. There's a call to action with the Ace of Wands card, and that's why you guys are here. There's some emotional upset that you came here to help heal with that 5 of Cups. And the Wheel of Fortune is there as the outcome. So you're here to help flip things around. There's a huge wake-up call happening, and there's a lot of we have is that the 8 of Wands. So we have a lot of spiritual energy coming across. So definitely yes for this one.
I've got a lot of goosebumps happening.
Oh,
too.
me too.
Wow. Even myself while I'm looking at these cards.
Yeah.
Kaila,
I also like with the ship being the Chariot representing, because the Chariot is very protective. It's the Cancer card.
It is,
which I'm a Cancer, so I have to, you know, very protective of you, shielding you. Yeah.
I see that strong male figure in the Emperor. There's a strong male figure, and he could also be almost military like with the Chariot, but I see that around them, that a strong male. Do you all ever talk about a strong male figure?
Well, God.
Yeah, God to us.
Christ
But
consciousness.
the military part of it is interesting because we've been told that our particular role when we're in the astral is and the ship, this particular ship made itself known very interestingly, actually, on just a photograph taken at the beach one day, before I even met Georgie, actually, or maybe just early on.
It was early on.
Very early on. I just took a picture of the ocean and went back there in the evening. There was no waves or anything, and some interesting clouds, but didn't really think much of it. And then looked deeper, and then there was this is when we were learning how to channel. That's right. And this picture came in, and they told us that this was the Enterprise, and we have a photo of it, and we'll show you if we can do that on the screen and through our phone. But yeah, they said our particular ship very much the mission is to rescue children from the underground tunnels.
So
we're warriors as well as.
In fact, that Chariot shows that you are that Chariot with all that armor on, and he's in a movement. That's a fighter like.
And I feel like that even, you know, in my being since I've been a young girl, always fighting for justice and some injustice against injustice in many different forms. So I never really fit into the system too well.
I also feel that the Emperor could be like the captain of your ship. Have you any idea who the captain of your ship is? If it's God himself, as it were, but is it actually, you know, someone else that you've met?
Well, yeah, we have had contact with the captain, shall we say, of the ship, but there's many different people that play different roles on board that we've been told.
We met crew members early on, as in we're introduced through channeling. But we feel like we've been on a journey of several different timelines too that have kept evolving. So early on, it was very much about the galactic messages and what we were here doing and multidimensional parts of ourselves and introducing us to different
and helping others as well to connect to that part of themselves too. But we've been doing that for I can't believe we can say that now, many years.
For about a year. So we did our first public appearance on YouTube was with Mark Atwood. That all just synchronous, it just happened. It was brought to us. Everything just comes and we flow with it and go with it. So we just trusted and did this interview with Mark Atwood, and things we did a channeling for that we read out, and later we learnt from our guides that channeling contained a lot of coding and key words that connected with a whole heap of starseeds, a whole heap of people that were from a similar background to us or were Andromedan, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I saw that one and I was like, oh yeah, they're on it.
And then they got goosebumps and they all felt this need to connect with us. And then we did a huge amount of psychic readings for people after that. We were doing them every day.
We were very connected.
We don't even know how we did that now. We look back and go, how did we get through that?
Very tiring.
But we did. And it was all about helping them step onto their path, helping them remember who they are. And so a lot of it was about the galactic side of it, about what was going on at that time, which was very much about the military aspect of it and rescuing beings and children in the tunnels and that sort of stuff. So, but also we met another big group as well, which would be lovely to get a card pull on, who were one of the Essenes, so working with Jesus when he was in training in that community, that beautiful community. So we met.
Is that the one that Dolores Cannon had?
Yeah, well, she wrote 2 beautiful books about it.
Yeah.
And then we started to meet people who were the Essenes in other lifetimes.
Because we were told we were as well. And Jesus would come into our readings and it was out of this world magic. Beautiful.
This is the Enterprise picture too that we were talking about.
Oh, wow.
They can share screen, can't they, Ally? You have it set up where they can share screen?
Yeah, I think I've got it set up.
It should be on multiple if I was able to.
Yeah. Kind of like round ship in the middle. Is that dark blue?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called a cloaked. What's called a cloaked ship. You might have heard about that. They cloak.
Yeah, I can see it looks like rays are coming from the bottom of it or something.
They said to us they're the thrusters underneath the ship.
What is that?
The thrusters.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's what it looks like. Wow.
That the ship is a sentient being. She's female, sentient. And we've had past life regressions where we've been on the ship and I've it's all white inside, but it's living, moving. You can
touch them and they feel with your energy, right? Because you have to be specific to that ship in order to fly it too, right? For most of them.
Connected consciously.
You mean you touch the walls and it moves?
Touch the walls, and they were just you could put your hand into the wall or it was
some of them
wild, isn't it?
With people about how that even the ship take before it goes on a mission these stunning ceremonies, and met people who had very key roles in that. It was just like blowing us away. Like, now we tend to work our missions more helping people with their emotions and
helping them to
feel them. It's all
inner
about
child healings.
A lot of inner child healings as well. We're at that point.
Have you shuffled your deck, Kaila?
Not yet, no.
Just take a couple of cards off the top and ask if all like the star seeds, the people who are working for humanity right now, are they up on a ship too? Let's see what we get.
9 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Wands. So these will be the clarifiers, and the first card is the 9 of Pentacles.
I would
How
think
did you
we're a
phrase
little
that
more
question,
earthbound.
Ally?
We're a little more earthbound.
I said, are all like the the starseeds and the people that are working for humanity right now, we'll say truthers, if you like, are we all up on a ship as well?
Oh, from the Nine of Pentacles, I get that we're independent from them. Because Nine of
we're a
Pentacles
little more earthbound.
Earthbound, yeah.
And a lot of Pentacles, yeah, Earth, yeah. So not everybody gets to go up there. Not everybody.
It probably depends on where they are in their missions and what their mission is here specifically. So.
And I also think with that Five of Pentacles, that was our personal choice to kind of get a bit of hardship in, you know, as well.
For me, from the Nine of Pentacles, I get that there are definitely different groups that came here for specific things. And I feel like it's pointing towards specifically 9 different groups. I think there is more, but for some reason, this 9 different groups comes to me straight away.
Wow.
And it's so interesting because I remember when I was little, I would always look up at the sky, and like I lived in the Caribbean, and by my dad's house in the countryside, you can see the stars so well. And I would always focus on one, and I would say, that's mine. And I don't know why, for when I was little, I would always say that's mine. And I would think it's a star, but I think it's a planet because it wouldn't twinkle like some of the stars do. At least that's what we were told. So this brings, you know, some questions in my mind, you know, to explore further. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Well, I feel like when we spot spaceships up in the sky too, or planets, whatever it is, it's because we resonate with them on that frequency. And only those that are on that frequency and vibration that match that, they're the ones that see them all the time. Another person, oh, what do you mean that's a ship up there? I don't see anything.
Yeah.
Or I just see a cloud. I go, oh, look, there's a dragon.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I always get that.
We always share those pictures amongst our group.
Yeah. Kaila and I are always going, look what I saw. Look what I saw.
I think we've seen some cloaked ships before too. Yeah, super interesting.
I think I've seen some of those. I see a lot of stuff in the sky that people just don't see. I see even imprints like on the floor, on pavements, on like when I go to sing at a place. It has nothing to do with you know, because I'm going to perform at a wedding or a party or something like that. And I go to the bathroom or down the hallway, and I could see a face, and I'm like, hey, everybody, you see that face? And I'm like, where? And then I said, look, here, all this, the left eye, the right eye, that's nose. And we can see it now, the shape of the face, and you can see the hairline and everything.
I see it in nature too a lot. Like just look at trees and things and see a whole lot of beings within a tree.
Or in rocks, everything. Very similar too.
I'm convinced about those trees now. I mean, I thought you know, the tree huggers from the 60s, I used to think about them, but I'm convinced now that every tree and every little twig has a consciousness to it. And those really big trees are like, they really want to be hugged. And if you can't hug them all, it's like you can't hug none of them, because the other ones will be calling towards you if you can. And the shrubs too. I talk to the shrubs, and I can feel the other shrubs like, you know, I can talk to us.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't talk to you. If I start, I'm gonna have to hug everybody. You know, they're like puppies, you know, like everybody wants to be hugged.
And I totally resonate with that. The last past life regression we did together, Claire took me to, and I was deep in this state, and I was saying to her, everything is a sentient being, even the blades of grass, and we communicate with all of them. We can telepathically talk to blades of grass, and you know, there were little baby dragons that were pets for people, but these little baby dragons, if they'd had enough, they'd just go poof and disappear. So they were, you know, they were totally free, but they were also pets for little children. And
it's a pretty cool place.
Yeah. But like you were saying, Barb, everything was a being and living and conscious and in communication. Yeah.
And that's probably why one of the reasons that, you know, we do card pulls to give advice or just the message that Spirit wants us to know. And a lot of times there's that reoccurring message, go to nature. Is like, go to nature, is that there's something out there in nature besides the electrical grounding that we can get, but there's something out there in nature that for some reason we're not picking up. We got to get out there. There's something
Yeah.
And there's a really important message that we got to just pick it up.
My viewpoint of being out in nature, if I may share, was changed recently by, you know, how we always look at it and admire it. I heard a doctor on Instagram who's now turned into a spiritual teacher. Forgive me, I can't remember his name, but he said, remember that nature is admiring you as well. So imagine that the clouds are looking back at your magnificence and your, you know, your radiance, and that changed the way I feel when I'm in nature. It's like this really beautiful relationships developing that I felt deeper, feels deeper. But the interesting thing you said, Kaila, about the 9, you felt like there's 9 different groups. It is like really interesting for us because of our guides who are called the 9. We don't know much about them. It'd be interesting to maybe get some more information from your tarot and about the 9. Gene Decode said that the 9 are known as the noble ones, with no kind of like background on that, but ancient beings, so ancient groups, and we don't even really understand whether they're individual beings or their collective consciousness was in themselves as each one of these 9. But we've seen a few videos on YouTube about it. And when we do speak to the 9 and about their origins, they don't really tell us too much. It's interesting.
They say we are one, so they're a collective consciousness, and they say that we are them, they are us.
Yeah.
So it's like the highest version of us.
We're certainly not that noble in this life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've got many flaws.
Could they be a futuristic version of us?
Well, yeah, could very well be. But it's a very interesting.
Well, also the Andromedan Council of 9.
Yeah,
they're 9 groups, like you were saying, Kaila. They're 9 groups, different races of beings that work together for humanity.
Ancient beings. Yep.
It's interesting that in preparing for today's show, I was just listening to one of your videos, and I know I've heard about this group before, but I've not really paid attention to it too much. And I did a quick poll on it, you know, who are they? I can't remember what came across exactly, but what I remember is right off, I got 3 cards that were 9s. And the first one that represented them was literally a spiritual energy, and that took a lot of hard work, or working very hard, or coming in at the last minute to help. Like, that's what I got from it.
Oh, that's
that's what I remember,
similar
at
to
least.
what Ray received as well. That's really fascinating. Yeah, because they can foresee. Well, the Andromedan Council as a group can foresee into the future, and they foresaw that Earth was going to be destroyed again, because there's many versions of Earth that's happened. And then they were allowed to intervene because of the space technology that humans were developing, and it was going to interfere with the rest of the universe and cause major problems. So that was they're allowed to intervene, but still there's lots of rules that they have to abide by, universal spiritual laws.
They work with the Galactic Federation of Worlds too, which is the military aspect of the galactic side of things.
I've heard of that before.
Area comes in too.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's fascinating.
That's really
so let's pull cards on. Oh, sorry, Bob.
I was just saying that's really deep. It's really profound. It really is.
Yeah.
I love when we get our minds together like this, because we all are having these spiritual experiences, and, you know, in developing that side of us and searching for these answers. And then when we come and we put our experiences together, I think we learn from each other so much. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on.
This happens.
You girls would say that the Galactic Council of 9 that I had just seen an article on is different from your Andromedan Council of 9. Then they're different groups.
We possibly, because there's also Magenta Pixie's collective she channels from, and they're called the White Wing Collective Consciousness of 9. So
so they all like 9. Well, I remember No, Penny Kelly saying today that 9 is a completion. That was interesting because Penny Kelly, have you guys seen Penny Kelly at all? Do you know who she is? She's in the States. She works with a group of galactics as well. And I don't even know. She doesn't even talk about who they are, and she doesn't reference 9. I think
they don't give much information about, it's like just where they want to give and receive and help humanity. And
I think because they don't want us to focus on that so much as they want us to focus on the mission and the here and now, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, how could our human minds even conceptualize what they are? Probably,
right?
Like, that it'd be probably it's too complicated, too convoluted.
I keep telling them I've got 5 acres. They're more than willing to land and say hi. I'm ready.
What about a crop circle? That'd be good.
Don't let them land until I get there, Lynn.
Circle would be wonderful.
Don't let them land until I come to visit. That way we can see them again. I think I've already been abducted anyway as a kid. I can remember from a long time ago this reoccurring flash I have in my mind, a reoccurring flash that I was in this spaceship, big gigantic room. There's a big gigantic screen, and that was before screens were big. So because that was back in it must have been the 60s maybe. So the screen was really, really big. And it's just this reoccurring image. And then I got a regression done. And I found out that I was really abducted, and they kind of cut my memory out. My mother and father, they wouldn't wake up for anything. They just wouldn't wake up. This big gigantic bird flying in the room, poop, 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 poop. And I'm fighting this little thing as tall as I am. And then he does something. Yeah, because I didn't want to go with him. I don't want to go. And then he had 3 fingers, and he just did like that to me. And I was just still, I couldn't move anymore. And then up we went.
Goodness, you had, sounds like, sleep paralysis, which I suffered from most of my life. Terrible.
Oh yeah, I had that too. I got that too.
Coming in like that into my.
Oh, that's scary. I had that sleep paralysis thing. Oh my God. What else do you think about that? Do you think it's a good thing, or you think it's a bad thing, or?
I think it's a shockingly frightening, terrible thing. And I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. It's the most scary thing ever. You think you're going to die.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. And then you have they're always behind you talking, whispering, and then they sit on you, or they get close to your ear, and you can't move. I don't think that's a fair game there. That's
the only thing that good came out of it for me was I instinctively would recite the Lord's Prayer, and I'm not a religious person, but I knew that I had to do something. And during that time of being frozen, in this another reality or dimension, or wherever I was, and Georgie's been attacked too. But yeah, saying that would be the only thing that would make it stop, or whether it was just in the timing, I don't know. But sometimes I was so frightened I'd forget the words of the Lord's Prayer. I'd be like that, and couldn't remember it, and then have to repeat it. That was perhaps the most frightening bit, was forgetting it. And I think, oh my God, I've forgotten it. But eventually, I think as I became closer and closer to, looking after my body and changing personal habits and becoming clearer in my mind, they just went away.
Yeah, I'm surprised you could move your mouth, because it's like I'm like.
Yeah.
Say it anymore.
It was in my mind. Yeah.
And anybody could be in a room with me, and they don't. I'm like, try to pinch them. You can't move and everything. But I did do the cards on that before, on that experience, because it's horrific, at least on my experience. And I think we all did it together. And I didn't get any really bad, horrible cards on it. I got that. It's a intuitive kind of like you're going through dimensional. You're basically dimensional traveling, right? And I guess I'm supposed to kind of get used to it and really start traveling. And I didn't ask you about to travel now.
Not fearing, learning not to be in the fear, learning not to fear, perhaps. Yeah,
not fearing. Although some you could see some type of you know, horrific looking images. I guess it depends on the state of mind or where you are at in that possibility of traveling. But from what I get from my cards is like, I'm supposed to be still, be calm, actually get up if you can. I got up a couple times.
Yeah, that's
Just
good
really
advice for anyone watching if you have it.
Yeah, and also repeat the Lord's Prayer or whatever you feel that will protect you. And so
Indeed.
that's my
I think just real quickly, that might be easier for people who don't know the Lord's Prayer. I know woo dude always tells me to evoke the light of the Christ within you, and just say that 3 times, and that will do it too.
Sure will.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I feel like it's the beginning of our remembrance too. We're in this human vessel, living this human life. And I feel like these things that happen are like a beginning of our remembrance of the multidimensional parts of ourselves and what we're here for, and opening us back up to that. And it starts with a very fearful, you know, we're fearful of it, but then we learn how to rise above that fear. We sort of figure it all out through these experiences, because I used to have them too, not so much the sleep paralysis, but I've physically had things happen to me during sleep time and woken up out of it really scared and thought, what on earth was that? Like being held down, pressed into my pillow, that sort of thing. But I had more visual things happen to me. So like you, Barb, where you saw what was going on, and it was sort of space stuff going on and aliens, I was like that too. I would just wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and have like a big TV screen there showing me images.
That's right.
So I would see different beings coming in front of my face, or, you know, different colored eyes, and I'd be like, are you good or are you not good, or what's going on? Oh, should I be scared? Should I be okay? Should I trust you? And it was really freaky. And the very first one that happened was actually like a ghost. It was like a little boy standing beside my bed. I just woke up and my eyes were wide open and I knew I was awake, and I could see this little boy standing against the wall, and he looked a bit nervous. He was sort of like this looking at me, and he was dressed in old-fashioned clothing, like, you know, 1800s or something. First I was really scared, and then I thought, oh, no, this is amazing. This is so exciting. Oh my gosh, I've always wanted to do, you know, see stuff like this. And so I just stared at him and he stared at me, and then he dissolved into the wall.
Wow, that happened to me a few times. I've seen, I saw this like big golden King Tut type thing that was just there. It was glowing in the dark. And I slowly opened my eyes and I saw it just standing. I was like, what in the world? And I wasn't paralyzed or anything. I just woke up and then it just started fizzling out. It's like, why is that thing watching me while I'm sleeping? And then another time, there was a guy, he was dressed all in white, had a baseball cap on. And I think he was like Latino or something. He was standing in the door. And I just saw him. I says, you got to get out of here, I told him. And I mean, I don't mean to treat these things badly, but if we don't know what it is, and they have the ability to come into our dimension and see us, that's not a fair game, in the sense that that's startling to us. You know, we're human, and you know, I mean, most of us are human, and it's kind of startling. So I was like, you got to get out of here. I don't know what it is that, you know. And then he dissipated, but it never felt like anything was trying to hurt me. It's just startling to wake up and see something like that standing in the room.
Would be.
I mean, that's not
fair.
Oh,
It's almost like they're being nosy, isn't it? Just having a little peek behind the curtain. It's like,
but you know, I gotta be fair. I gotta be fair. I have to be fair, because I might be that person sneaking in on somebody else too, because I get flashes sometimes of vivid images in different places, and sometimes I'm in people's bedrooms and I'm in their kitchen. I see a lady on a rocking chair, and I'm right near their pet. I'm at the park with them. I'm walking down it, and I'm just like, I'm at the bar. You know, there was one that actually saw me. There was a guy at the bar, and the bar was before he opened. It was an evening before he opened, and I appeared at the bar, and I saw the guy behind the bar. He actually looked at me. He looked at me like to say, "What the heck are you doing here?"
You're probably an angel in between lives, I have a feeling. We meet lots of
Yeah,
in our sessions, people who are angelic beings, angel beings in between lives. So you may have been witnessing that.
yeah. That's startling whenever they actually see me. If they don't see it, and all I have to do is just be in a state of mind where I'm kind of falling asleep, or I'm kind of just like relaxing a little bit, and then I start seeing these flashes. I mean, vivid. If I could draw, I could vividly draw each individual object that was in the room, and I could draw the whole room. And so I'm thinking, I gotta be careful with that, because I peeking on people too. So
that's right. We won't tell anybody. Secret safe with us. Yeah, that's really
which one of you met Princess Diana?
Me. Yeah.
You did? Wow.
1985, I think it was. It's either 85 or 86. I was at
And
the Australian
tell
Ballet School.
more.
Well, I mean, I was with a whole lot of people when I met her, a whole class of young ballet dancers, and she made an impromptu visit to the Australian Ballet School when she was on tour to Australia with baby William and Charles. It was that year. I was there from 85 to 87, so I'm pretty sure I was in my first year, 1985. And all of a sudden, all these Secret Service agents came in the morning and were like doing a sweep of the whole building and checking inside the pianos. And we thought, what's going on? So nobody taught us anything. And then we had our morning class begin as usual, and she walked in with the director of the school. That was Dame Margaret Scott at the time. And they sat down and she watched our whole class. And then at the end, she stood there and we all stood in a line, and she came along the line and shook each of our hands and said hello and had a little chat. And I just remember her blushing lots and having a very beautiful, gentle energy, really lovely. So it was just an absolute, an honor and a really exciting thing to happen. And I went home that night. I was like, guess what, Mum and Dad?
Yeah, guess who I saw today?
It's happened today.
How lovely to have met her.
So she was a patron for the ballet, and she wanted to be a dancer and said she was too tall. She got too tall. And so she was quite devastated that she had to give it up, and it didn't become her career. And so she always loved the ballet, I think, and wanted to go and do that for her little thing on the side when she was here.
She definitely was a goodie, if you know what I mean.
I mean, I'm sure that she's still alive somewhere and she's being hidden, just because all of that stuff surrounding her death was just weird. And I feel like she's in hiding, maybe off world somewhere. Who knows? But
I feel
that's what I feel. Hopefully she'll make a reappearance, which will freak everybody out. But
we kind of thought we may have seen her at the funeral of Queenie.
Oh, really?
Remember, we thought, we thought we were going to see her in somewhere.
Yeah. A lot of people were talking. They thought she was going to come out then. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
That was a very interesting spectacle to watch, wasn't it? All those codes within it.
The CGI queen.
Yeah, and the Grim Reaper and everything.
Wow, what was that about?
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
I think because we pulled on King Charles the other week, right? That he wasn't long for this world, right? So yeah, that's
whatever's playing him, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think what will be really interesting is what happens after he goes. What's going to happen then? Because have you guys seen the Princess Catherine video? Oh my God! So
with William looking like the happy family.
So
they were very happy in the park, right? So
she's apparently had chemo. Her chemo's finished. Her hair's perfect. Doesn't look like a wig. And it's a very cheesy, very manipulated kind of video of her like walking through the woods and on the beach with William and the kids and looking just so happy. Like, you kind of
It's like
look,
a postcard. It's like a postcard family, you know. It's a postcard
oh
family.
my
That's what it
God.
looks like.
But it
Which is
doesn't,
fine. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see. It's just like, is that real? Is that really
it
true?
just doesn't look like them, and it especially doesn't look like William, and it doesn't look like, and there's not enough close-up shots of her to, I mean, it could be a double, it could be CGI, who the hell knows, but it doesn't look like William at all. It just looks like someone else. But it's just like, I watched that the other day and I was like, oh God.
Yeah,
so yes,
all for a purpose, some kind of purpose. We don't really know what it is, but whatever you want to believe, I know.
Yeah, it's
You
going to
know,
be
my mum's right into the royals. She loves them. She's no idea what's going on, bless her.
Everything I've been seeing has looked very artificially generated.
Yeah.
Oh, look at William's face there.
Yes, what I mean. It doesn't look
with
like
his teeth.
Yeah.
That looks like a much younger photo of him. And often it looks like his head's been cut out and stuck on.
Yeah, that does look like that there.
And
she looks kind of like she's on acid or something.
Oh.
And it looks like the kid. It looks like the kid on the left knows all the secrets.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on.
It does. Yeah. It's strange. And none of their kids look like they've been transgendered, really. I don't know.
No.
They look normal. They look pretty normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I absolutely love at the moment, so you got Kate talking about the chemo that she's just had, and then you got Elle McPherson saying, well, I didn't have it and I'm fine, and she's been ripped to shreds because she went the holistic way. And
the Ella McPherson, the ex-model, the girl in she's from Australia too, isn't she?
Yes. And I just
questionable gender, please.
Yeah, I did watch.
Yeah, that's what they say.
I did watch that, but it was advertised here, and 60 Minutes did that story, and I thought, oh, I'm not watching anything that 60 Minutes puts on. And apparently, she's talked about going the natural way and being attacked for that. And I thought, why would they be pushing that story anyway?
Yeah. There's always it seems like there's always a reason behind it. She used to be really big back in the day, really big model back in the day. I mean, when I first started, all those girls like Naomi Campbell's and Ella McPherson and all them. It was really interesting.
Body, because she had such an incredibly tall physique, and if you do look at it, it's quite interesting bones.
Kind of interesting, yeah. She deserves to have those hips looked at. Because if those hips are really, really, narrow like that, ain't no baby coming out of there. Ain't no baby coming out of there. You know, that's why we have the Q angle. The women have the wider hips, and our legs tend to go in like that. But whenever you see so-called females with hips that are really narrow like that, and they go straight down, they have this perfect, ain't no baby coming out of that.
I went down that rabbit hole for a good 2 years because I just was fascinated by it. And the deeper I went, the more I learned actually about their religion. And it's they're extremely religious, these people.
We see that in Kate too, don't we?
It goes back so many millennia to like the ancient Sumerian times. It just goes back. It's been going on this planet for so long. And it's very, very common, and they hide it very well. And
but once you know, you know.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
You
just can't stop spotting them, can you?
No,
you can't unsee it. You can't unsee it once you know what to look for. And because the thing is that these days a lot of people are unable to distinguish a man and a woman, a man from a woman. And you know, when they have these court cases and they say, can you tell me what a woman is? And the person says, well, no, I can't tell you can you tell me what a man? A woman and a man is like biologically is what I said with first of all the hips, that's the most important thing. And then the shoulders are a little bit wider, and that's why the arms tend to hang down like an orangutan. The arms are wider, so the arms straight down like an orangutan. And we women, we have smaller shoulders, and we tend to we're like a T-Rex almost, the little short arms and come straight out like that.
Because our arms, And you know what else is really interesting
Pause.
too, is it's in the gaze of the eyes. So with a woman, it's more of a inviting in gaze. If you look at a woman's face compared to a man, and a man's gaze with his eyes, if you look into the energy of the eyes, it's all in the eyes. You can tell straight away like that. A man's projecting out. A woman's
more.
It's very interesting.
That's interesting.
Into the eyes.
Men have more fierce look. Like
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, a fierce look. And women have like those happy eyes.
It's more of like it feels it luring you, and it's very, very maternal, like loving energy, very gentle gaze. But the man's more projecting out to protect. It's very interesting.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure there's some females that look like their fathers. I mean, there's some exceptions and vice versa. That's fine. But in general, that's basically how it is. That gaze, those shoulders, shoulder to hip ratio.
It's like they say, archaeologists 100 years from now are still going to say whether it was male or female based on their bone structure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't
Exactly.
matter.
When you go out there, you have the police, the forensic police. They know exactly what time it is. They know what bones they're looking at. You know, so a lot of these people that don't know the difference, and unfortunately, that's basically where we are in society now.
Yeah.
But I guess that'd be coming out too. And speaking of people in the society, and I know I'm talking a lot. I'll let you all talk a lot, but I said I had a lot of questions. But when you all did the video with Michael Jaco and with Lisa Shermanhorn, I have her name written down. She mentioned that there's a technology that kind of keeping people. You know, I don't know if we can say this on YouTube or not. Maybe I'll cut this part out. But like a technology that kind of keeping people
dumbed down
in a foggy state,
transit state.
But
I know a lot of foggy people now.
But that's been happening. But that's been happening with the fluoride in the water, with the chemicals in the food, with the pollutants in the air for like decades, right? Alcohol, making people work 12 hours a day, so they don't have time to think, you know. So all of these, all of these things I don't think we need anything else. I mean, just all of that is enough, isn't it?
I mean, just and the school systems, the colleges, and everything else. Just this is the way it is, and I mean,
exactly. It's not.
Don't think for yourself. Just take what you see on the TV.
Yeah. Just
there are two main components though too that I know Barb is referring to that are in the particular things in the arm.
Oh yeah.
The
vitamin shots.
Yeah. And one of them is a controlling mechanism. Well, they both are, I guess, in a way, but we were told about those when we channeled our course, and that information came through that we're removing two main harmful components of these things in the arm. And
is the 5G activating it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are the two main components that you get rid of? Because there's been so much talk, hasn't there, about what's in them, and we don't really know, right? You know, people are speculating. So what have you been told?
Nanotechnology.
Certain technology that's and
luciferase.
And what specifically does the luciferase do?
It disconnects the soul from God's self within them to a certain degree. The consciousness is, as you were saying before,
hijacked, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good word, actually. Yeah. And there's some of the common symptoms we're seeing with people who've had the vitamin shot are, fogginess, brain fog, a lot of lethargy. Some people are finding it, difficult to do their regular meditation practice. What else, Georgie? Oh, obviously,
lots of physical symptoms.
Lots of physical symptoms, but emotional symptoms as well are really common.
Disconnection to others too, in a beautiful, heart-centered way. So
I've definitely seen that
depression coming through too. That's not really who they are. So so that was gifted to us that information, and then it was backed up by everything that was coming out on the internet too. And we were also referred to Dr. Carrie Madej.
Karen Madej, yeah.
Link to one of her videos on BitChute where she spoke in 2020, quite early on,
Oh,
before we rolled out this stuff.
she was talking about that little, like a little Hydra thing that kind of jumped up out of the
one. She talks about the hydrogel, but this was earlier in 2020. She talked about those 2 ingredients that were very harmful in these particular shots, and so she was.
I saw that.
So we went down the road earlier on in when channeling this course about getting proof that it worked, and we were diverted off that path very early on, and then went about everything just as is with the course and channeling it and putting on platforms to teach people how to do it. It's all online, by the way, at this stage. It's beautifully done. And then we met Lisa and did blood. She did blood work just off her own bat for us, but we've decided not to go with that anymore because it can be deceiving. It's very problematic as far as the variables are concerned with taking blood, and also because we are not medically trained in blood phlebotomy or dark field microscopy, and it was just taking us down a
path, where it can cause more harm than good, because if somebody doesn't see the results that they expected to see, it can take them down a negative path. It's like giving a diagnosis, and we don't ever do that.
We don't diagnose people in our work ever.
And what we were instructed to do when we channeled the course was to get feedback forms from people. So that's part of the training and part of the process when you become one of the facilitators of this beautiful healing, is that you send your feedback in to us. And eventually we're going to write a book with all this.
How many facilitators do you girls have now on your team?
Around 100.
Good. And all around the world?
Yeah. We've even got a lady in Alaska.
Yeah.
Wow.
Playful all over the place.
We have a link on our website so people can find them. But also, we're getting the most incredible feedback in written form, because the healers write down just a short, they write down the symptoms that the person was experiencing after they took these things in the arm, how it affected them. Sometimes that's just emotionally. They just are really angry, really can't believe that they were forced to do this, or, it can be an emotional healing for them and not a physical. And they are amazed at how much grief comes out when they have the healing.
Are you finding that some people that thought they got the real may have gotten actually like the saline, or is everybody coming to you pretty much had the real?
We never really know that, but I guess you can see that in whether they had physical symptoms or not. Often if they have physical symptoms harm their body, then maybe they've had the real. If they feel they haven't been affected at all, then that can be their mindset too, because they could have had a very high intention that it was not going in their body at the time that they.
We met a few people like that actually who said, I took it, but I had to take it because of my children were in hospital or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And they did it for their kids, and God is a very loving God, as you may know.
I have a neighbor that had to do it for her son, who is very extremely autistic, and they had to take him for a surgery, and they told her she had to have a shot. She ended up paralyzed, and I think she's still in a wheelchair. I think she got her upper arms, but she never got her legs back.
Send her our love.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's so sad, isn't it?
Are you finding there's more people kind of waking up to what they've done now?
Yeah.
Or as to like really like freaking out, like, oh my God, I've had 4 or 5 jabs. What on earth?
What did I do?
They are. They're starting to talk about it now. I mean, as they took the AZ off the market because of the clots. People know, but they just don't talk about it. It's like they've got some kind of amnesia. They don't want to talk about it. They want to. It's just too scary for them, and that's okay. It's okay. But so the healing's very much one of those.
It's
times
spiritual.
that it's a spiritual awakening for them. These people to actually get to that point where they do want to have a healing of this nature. And that's how we trust that God's bringing them to us and to the facilitators of the healing, the course that we teach people.
And you know what's happened recently that's an interesting synchronicity as well, is we've had horses come into our field of awareness. All of a sudden, horses are coming in, and equine therapy. And
In a big way.
2 days ago, we were invited to go to a beautiful country property here, you know, an hour and a half's drive away from where we are in Victoria, Australia. And we went to this, see a beautiful woman named Rachel Gibson, who does equine therapy on her property with 4 horses. And we got to experience this lying on a massage table underneath some beautiful trees that clearly had powerful ley lines underneath them. They were very drawn to this spot that they would do the healing. And we'd lie there, and these gorgeous horses just came up, and it was complete trust. And they'd come right up and touch you with their nose and just go into a trance. And the energy was amazing, and the positioning they put themselves in. And then dogs would come into and take part in it. So it was a group healing session. And the information that Claire channeled a little bit of, but also Rachel channels the horses, and the information that was coming through was all about how the horses at this time are helping humanity to open their hearts, helping them to remember who they are. And so there's this beautiful interconnection, I guess, of animals and nature coming in as well and assisting, you know, whether that's dolphins and whales or what animals are taking part. I'm sure that most of them are our pets, but the horses are playing a big role as well, and people are being
really coming online.
This work.
Be good to have a card pull on that one.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right, what's your question? What's your question?
How are
the horses?
The horses.
Yeah.
What is the horse's role in humanity's awakening? That's what I would ask.
At this now moment.
Ally, go ahead and draw. Go, girl.
Ally, you've been volunteered.
I've been volunteered.
You're going to use the golden white cards tonight?
No, I'm not. I'm going to use my vintage tarot deck today. So what role have horses got in all of this? Yeah.
What happened?
We've frozen, but I don't know if it's us.
Did we freeze?
Let's see. Yeah, your image
I think
is
we're good.
frozen.
I think the girls froze.
Oh,
There you are.
Yeah,
there you are.
Yeah, that was them. That was them talking.
We're back.
We can see you now. Because for a second we only heard you talking, and then the image was frozen, but you're back now. So we want to ask, what is the
role of horses?
The role of horses in humanity. In the humanity awakening.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a
right
good
now.
question.
Really good. Interesting.
I think horses are known as like the guardians of the land, right? Like the whales and the dolphins are kind of like the guardians of the sea, and the horses are on the land too. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Gene Decode told us that they hold the Schumann resonance. They're part of.
Yeah, probably.
Oh.
My neighbor has 2 horses and a donkey now, and I get to see them. Butter just looks at you, and you just see deep into her soul. It's fabulous.
Yeah, I love horses, and I talk to the horses, and I speak different languages to the horses, and it seems like they understand all of the languages.
Wow, Barbara.
Yeah. If I weren't a singer these days, I'd probably be an interpreter for international, or probably work for the government or something like that, because back in the day, not today, but I would have. I love languages, and I always talk to these horses, and they look at me like they really understand what I'm talking about. People think I'm crazy. Go around hugging trees, talking to horses.
Moving on, Barbara. Yeah.
Hey, I'm not going to change.
We don't want you to change.
Exactly. Oh, these are interesting. These are interesting cards. You see that Emperor is back again, and the High Priest is back again, and the Nine of Pentacles is back again.
I mean, we've only got 3 major arcanas this time instead of like 45 that we had on the last pull.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel with the world cards in the middle, they're really going to be key to the new world and how everything will be changing. They are obviously bringers of truth with that King of Swords there. It's so interesting. We got the Emperor again, haven't we? Because
the Emperor and the High Priestess and the Nine of Pentacles.
We've got I mean, because the Emperor's like strong and powerful, and that's horses as well, right? They are able to go into battle and fight just as the Emperor is. I mean, what role do they have?
Leading the way, showing
They're the kings of the animal kingdom, in my opinion.
the lion too.
Yeah, and the King of Pentacles also is about health, because Pentacles is about health and physical things. So with the High Priestess just below it too, it's like using that intuitive hidden side to heal. And with the World, that kind of, emphasizes that change to shift things. So it's like with the Two of Wands, they're looking on from a safe distance. They seem as if they're not doing anything, but without even knowing it, with that Four of Cups, they are giving healing.
Oh,
that's what I'm seeing.
Beautifully said.
The Four of Cups is really talking to me, because it's about helping people through releasing emotions and through that beautiful emotional connection the horses have with them, helping them to see, helping them to open their heart again to what is
see what I have to give to you. That person's almost like getting a healing, isn't he, in the paddock?
Because there's what the horses do, like with autistic kids and stuff, like helping them to just, you say, see the way through. I think there's going to be, with the clarifiers, there's definitely going to be a surprise. I think a lot of people will be surprised as to what's going to happen with the horses there. And we've got the Nine of Pentacles on the bottom again. So they're going to be part of abundance and about nature, and they're going to have a more of an integral role. I feel that I feel
more hands-on. More hands-on.
Moves on.
And not just intuition.
Nine of Pentacles is a sovereignty card too.
Yep.
Yes.
Now, by looking at those three major arcana, the Emperor and the World and the High Priestess, the three major arcana stick out for me. The Emperor represents he represents leadership, confidence, a strong presence. The High Priestess is intuitive, so a strong intuitive presence that the World. I think the World is almost like a protective type of. I'm getting that the horses, whether we know it or not, they're protective animals of the human being, and of course we think the dogs are, and the dogs are. But I believe that horses are even stronger. They have that Emperor energy about them. And you see, look at the World, who's in nature is almost like protected by these animals. Okay, you get one person there at the top, which could represent a person, but he's almost protected by those animals. And I get a strong, intuitive, protective energy from horses.
Because in days gone past, they were really an integral part of our lives, right? We would use them for transport. They would move things around for us, and in over the last 100 years or so, with cars and things, we just don't use them anymore. And I think perhaps they had a far more integral role in our lives than just transporting us around. Perhaps just as you're saying, they had more of an intuitive kind of supportive role, and I think that's going to come back. And I feel that with the nine of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. And I think when with the 10 of Wands, when we've all had enough, when literally things are about to flip or whatever, I think that's when the horses will come back into their own.
I feel it's about reconnecting with them on a soul level rather than seeing them as something that is a service to us in other ways, like transport. That stuck with me. Rachel, the beautiful woman who has this property with the herd, she said to me they gave her a message one day where they said, we're happy to serve you in that way. We're happy to do these things, but we don't want to be seen as a being or an animal that's just there to do this stuff for you, carrying you around and whatever. We're happy to serve, but they love to be seen on a much deeper level for who they really are and what they have to give. Reciprocal way backwards and forwards, which is their heart is so huge. Their field of their heart is so massive.
About 9 meters out, they project their heart. Heart.
They can work on their chakras. They can remove entities from people. They can do so many incredible things, and they just let it go. They don't hold it.
Yeah, and they do it like when they go.
Yeah, they do different physical things to give you the message that they just removed something, or they just shifted something within you. But most of all, I just felt my heart open massively when they were there, just standing silently and perfectly still. There was just so much trust and so much energy in that area around us. And it was just the most beautiful thing. And it was such a beautiful, loving connection.
Highly recommend it. We're also just met a woman in Canada who's got a big retreat there. She's it's called Equinicity Retreat. Her name's Liz Mitten Ryan, and we're collaborating with her at the moment. Anyway, she has a award-winning documentary. You can find it on YouTube. It's called Herd. Highly recommend you watch it.
Herd. Let me write that down. Herd.
HERD. Yeah, she's got 16 horses in Kamloops, Canada.
And that's a documentary.
Yeah, she's a shamanistic teacher.
Yeah, I want to check that out, because I think that a lot of things that I believe a lot of things have been flipped in this world. Like like the good things or the bad things, good things, these types of things, and they've also been repressed, is what I feel. And I believe the horses, it just came to just now. Horses are, I don't want to say they're superior, but they have that emperor energy about them, and how, just like you said, that they're healers. There's a lot more to a horse than pulling a buggy, and we tend, with society, not us, but the people that came before us, they took that beautiful energy and animal, and instead of adoring it and using it for healing and those types of things, we're going to make it a slave. So it's like that thing has been flipped.
Yes. Yeah.
So anytime that I could get around a horse now, because anytime I get around horses, I really just love them. It's almost like a person in there, and they look at me and I sing to them, and it's like a person. So anytime I can get next to a horse right now, I'm gonna just make an effort to do that. I'm glad you have them out there, Lynn.
Lucky.
Yeah, I'm glad you have them out there. And I could only imagine that experience that you all had when those horses just came up and they touched you with the nose, and that's probably their real purpose.
Definitely, yeah.
It's like the different layers. It's the different layers of everything, isn't it? Like humanity's been enslaved. It's in our house. You could look at it that way too, that they're kind of enslaved rather than seen as who they truly are.
Right.
These beautiful souls
working with us as opposed
to. That's what I thought, Georgie. That's exactly what I thought.
Gift to us and healers to us, just like the horse is too, on a larger scale. So it's helping us to come back to that remembrance of every living being a child of God and being here to interact with each other equally and beautifully, helping each other.
Yeah, and for most people who live in cities or in like apartment blocks, and they just don't get to get out in nature. I mean, it happens a lot here in Hong Kong. When I'm very lucky, I live in the middle of a forest, but you know, most people live in an apartment block and they come out to nature, and it's like, what the hell, you know? And it's crazy because we are nature, aren't we? So it's just we just need to get back to that, don't we? This is what's so important. I am mindful of time, because we've been on for like an hour and 40 already.
Forever, girls.
Yeah.
I personally would like to know what you guys have heard. Well, the question is, have you heard any information from the Nine or the Andromedan Council of Nine about what's going to happen for humanity for the rest of this year. Have they given you any messages about what is going to happen, or what we should be concentrating on or mindful of?
Not so much what's going to happen, but more what we can concentrate on, is being the calm in the storm, just going within ourselves and always focusing on joy, what brings us happiness, staying in that vibration of love and peace within us as much as we can, no matter what's going on around us, like a raging storm around us of all kinds of information that's just there to confuse and distract us, I guess you could say, and be mindful of just being the observer of ourselves, but also of things around us, observing them from a higher perspective.
Sounds exactly like the cards we've been pulling recently. This is the advice we've been getting. Sometimes you ask a question about about like a world event, and it switches your attention back to that same message.
Yeah, it's like,
because there are so many possible outcomes, and we've become very aware over time of timelines and how they merge and change and shift, and so nobody can predict anything really, and nobody really has the answers. We just know that, well, we always have a knowing, the light is one, and that we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing, even if we feel like we're not. And I've often had visions in healing sessions with clients where I see them as a powerful pillar of light lately, a lighthouse or a powerful pillar of light, and surrounded by beings of light too, protecting them, working with them. So I feel like we're doing so much without consciously being aware of what we're doing as well, being here, that we really are powerful light, and wherever we go, whatever we do, we're having an effect, especially when we come together.
Well said, well said, well said, Georgie.
Very, very nice. I would really like a little song from you two.
Well, Claire has to join in though.
all right.
You ready to, since we're talking about ships and these types of things, we're gonna now, how would you get up there? Would you walk? Would you roller skate? How would you go? You would fly, right?
Yeah, fly me to the moon.
Yeah, there you go.
I was just thinking, beam me up.
You do it.
Okay. Fly me to the moon and let me play amongst the stars. Let me
see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars.
In other words, please be true. Is that the right words? In other words, darling, kiss me. Feel my love song. And I can't remember the words.
And let me sway forevermore.
Yes.
You are all I long for.
All I worship and adore. In other words.
Please be true.
In other words, love you. There you go.
Nice, ladies.
All right. What are you doing? What are you doing on New Year's Eve? We need another singer.
I'm coming to Florida, baby.
All right. Me and Claire up on the stage.
That'd be so good. I used to love that song.
What an amazing voice. Are you still singing?
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. I just
hopefully not just in the shower, right?
My niche lately. I've just been on this path for a long time, but yeah. But my eyes are sort of, and ears are open to different possibilities.
She's always singing around me with random outbursts.
And maybe to your clients, you sing something to your clients sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I do. Sometimes I do pretty softly because my voice is really loud.
Nice.
But yeah.
Before you go, do you ladies have any message for us by chance?
For you?
For all of us or our group.
Oh,
as in the tarot circle.
Yeah, or just anything.
Wait, hold on. Before they get to the message, before we move on to that, I meant to ask Claire, since you were singing with me, your father was a singer, or he was in a group called the Seekers.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's almost like the national anthem of Australia. I listened to that song the other day, and I almost felt Australian.
Yeah, it's extremely patriotic.
It's the
Yeah, the Seekers were extremely well known and still are. Dad's 83 now.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What have you ever met Judith Durham?
Yeah, most definitely. I grew up sort of knowing her and seeing her perform, and she died 2 years ago, not long ago, actually, to this date. Yeah. So yeah, Dad taught me to sing and from quite a young age. But yeah, it's always been my greatest passion and love, singing and performing.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I love that song. Did he write it?
Yes, he did. Yep. In 1987. Some of the lyrics were co-written with another gentleman, one or two of them, but the majority of the song was written by Dad. Yeah.
I feel so, when you talk to your dad next time, you let him know that you talk to some other people, and I feel so belong when I've never been to Australia. I have not yet. But when I hear the song, I feel like, hey, they're talking about me too. I almost feel Australian.
Yeah, it really does sort of pertain to like anyone on the planet. I am you are, we are one. We are one. We are many from all the lands on earth. We come. Beautiful lyrics to check on Spotify.
They feel very lyrics.
Yeah.
It's called I Am Australian. I Am Australian. It's called by the Seekers. It's great.
Yeah. And
I just had to get that out.
Statement itself, isn't it? So
I am, exactly.
The message that's just be the change you wish to see in the world, and that's just by loving yourself. Love yourself back to life.
Yes.
Loving yourself takes time, so take the time.
Yeah.
I like that.
No rush. A lot of people feel they've got to do it in such a hurry, and it's God doesn't mind how long it takes. And if you don't get what you need to get in this lifetime, he loves you just the same. All of us the same. No judgment.
And golly, Claire, that sounds like a message for us right there.
Yep.
Right? That's a message right there. Beautiful.
That's a powerful message we're given very frequently for clients, for ourselves. The journey we've been on has taught us that above all else. So it's so important to come back to self-love, compassion, forgiveness of self, and knowing that we're never judged, and we're just loved unconditionally, and we're all unique, and be you. Do your version of everything. Just be you. You're unique, and you're always enough exactly as you are.
I love that, Georgie. Thank you for that. And thank you, Claire, for that too. And oh my gosh, I'm gonna miss you all. I have to watch all of your videos now.
For sure.
I already miss you all already.
Oh, God bless you.
I didn't finish that video yet.
On our channel, would love to reciprocate the gesture.
Yeah.
It's been a really lovely conversation. Really cool. Thank you for having us.
It's been super. Thank you ever so much for spending the time with us.
Yeah, thanks so much.
You just let us know when you want us to exchange. You let Ally know. She knows where to contact us.
Yeah.
All right. Lovely. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a lovely, lovely day, ladies.
Thanks, ladies.
We'll catch you soon.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.
See you later. Bye. Bye. Bye.
There you go.